was a month old when the Roe decision came out. And it's one that I thought would never be in danger. But one of the things that I have discovered since is that even under Roe, abortion has not been accessible and available to everyone. As you've heard from some of my colleagues today, low income and women of color in particularly, and in rural areas, have not had access. And even under Roe, barriers were put in place that inserted this legislature between a pregnant individual and their provider. And when I got pregnant in 2010, it was historic, not just because I was the first sitting member of the House of Delegates to be pregnant while in office, but it was the first time that my OBGYN had a legislator as a captive audience. And over the course of my pregnancy, as I went in for checkups and ultrasounds, we had an opportunity to discuss how bills that were then being debated and would pass a couple of years later impact the provider-patient relationship. The doctor who administered my ultrasounds opened my eyes how abortion restrictions that became law here impacted particular patients. Susie, a married 30-something with a hole in her heart on birth control who got pregnant anyway. Beth, a pregnant woman who developed cancer. Each faced the heartbreaking choice whether to terminate the pregnancy or sacrifice their lives. Mary, who underwent fertility treatments to have a child, became pregnant with octuplets. The odds of carrying the pregnancy to term was very low, but if she reduced the pregnancy to 2, odds were better than 50-50. They both would survive. Amy, who suffered an incomplete or missed miscarriage in which the fetus dies but remains in the uterus, and an abortion is necessary to remove the fetus and the placenta. Robin, whose fetus developed the most severe form of spina bifida with horrific deformities. Her doctor suspected that the fetus was already paralyzed from the waist down. The paralysis would spread throughout the pregnancy. I could go on and on. And usually when these cases are brought up, my doctor would hear, well, that's not abortion, but it is. And it is because most state laws, and Virginia's in particular, don't distinguish between types of abortions, nor should it. Because regardless of the reason, the decision on what procedures to have and what health care to access should be between the patient and the provider. Under laws we had in place until 2020, each of those patients would have had to undergo a transabdominal ultrasound to determine gestational age, be given an opportunity to view the ultrasound and listen to the fetal heartbeat. We changed that in 2020 with a bill I was proud to carry and that everyone on this side, for the most part, voted for. Laws that restrict access to abortion harm the very patients they purport to help. Laws related to shutting down reproductive health centers, and I would invite this junior senator from Chesterfield. I guess she has not been to Hamilton Street and seen the neighborhood there. It is predominantly white. But laws intended to shut down these health centers made it impossible for patients to access safe, legal, high-quality care. And with the passage of the Reproductive Health Protection Act, Virginia has become a provider of refuge for many states. And if Roe falls, we will continue to be. I was dismayed, Madam President, when the Attorney General withdrew Virginia from the friend of the court brief filed in the pending lawsuit that will decide the fate of Roe, saying that upholding Roe was no longer Virginia's position. 79% of Virginians disagree with him. All of the ones you've heard from today vehemently disagree with him. And we will stand as a brick wall against any efforts to roll back the progress we have made on providing access in the past 2 years. Thank you, Madam President.